Hi, welcome to Crafting with Emily. Thanks for joining me. My name is Emily. My little floof is crazy today. um, my intention with this channel is always to create a warm and welcoming space, and I hope that's what you find here. Today I am bringing you a WIP in chat. So WIP stands for work in progress, and for the chat portion, I'm going to talk with you for 30 or 40 minutes about what's going on in my life. For the diamond painting today, I am working on Happy Jack's Glitter Moon. I purchased this from what's called a D-stash, so I didn't get it directly from Diamond Art Club, and the seller I purchased it from didn't have the original sticker, so I can't show you this sticker. And I think I've already recycled the box, so I'm gonna. That's why the photo is here, so you can see the whole thing. I just checked; it is not archived. You can still get it directly from Diamond Art Club. It's not in stock right now, but you can still purchase it. It hasn't been archived. Before I change the camera angle so that you're looking down at what I'm working on, I wanted to sort of, not a disclaimer, but I have a couple of things I want to say while we're still making eye contact, quote unquote. One of the important things one of the big items, the big item I want to talk about in my chat today is the chronic illness flare-up that I've been going through in the last month or so. And there are two important points that I want to make now while I'm looking at you. The first one is that I'm not sharing this for sympathy. I'm sharing this because lots and lots of people deal with these illnesses. A lot of these illnesses are invisible illnesses, so you can't see them. And one of the really painful emotions that come with these illnesses is loneliness. And I have wanted to share what I was going through, but didn't have the energy, didn't have the physical capacity, the mental and emotional capacity to do that in the last month. So this morning in particular, while I have the energy and the capacity to do that, I wanted to do that, just in case this reaches someone who can relate, so that they know that they are also, not alone in this situation. Obviously, we know logically that there are lots of people who deal with this, but I think hearing someone else's situation and hearing someone else's experience can make a big difference in a situation like this. So that is why I am sharing this. Not for sympathy, but just so that other people hear that they are not alone. The other important point that I want to make is that I am whining from a place of privilege, and I am very well aware of that. I have insurance through my work. It is United. It is UMR. So, but I have health insurance. I have the funds to pay for my prescriptions. I have the funds to pay for delivery and other luxuries that made this flare-up, this health crisis, more bearable. So, and I have good doctors. Basically, as terrible as the American healthcare system is, everything went right for me in this month. This month that was one of the most terrible months that I've been through. So I just want to be clear that I am aware that everything went right for me and it was terrible. So other people are going through the same thing and things are not going right for them. So if you are experiencing something like this, you want to talk to me about it, my Gmail that is associated just with this YouTube account, not my personal Gmail, should be in my YouTube profile. I'll link my Instagram account below as well if you want to connect there. If you need to connect, if you want to talk, if there's anything that I can help you with, please let me know, because this is like a very difficult, not like, this is a very difficult experience to go through. So all of that being said, I'm going to give you some updates on some other projects that I've finished, and then we'll jump into the chronic illness fibromyalgia talk. I'm going to change the camera angle so that you can look at what I'm working on. Okay, starting off strong as usual with our accessories. This pen I got from a D-stash as well. It does not at all match the canvas, but I love the shape of it. I purchased this because of the pastel rainbow. If you recognize who might have turned this, you can let me know and I'd be happy to give them credit. The person I purchased it from didn't mention it, so I'm not sure who turned this, but I really like this pen. My putty is Randa's Crafty Corner Pumpkin Pie, and I got this as a set with the pumpkin pie cover minder, which I'm using here. It does seem a little like cannibalistic to do the pumpkin pie with the pumpkin diamond painting, but I thought it was funny. So I'm going to set this back in here. The setup I'm using is sort of like cobbled together. So one of my friends at work, her mom diamond paints, and her mom changed her setup. So I got to inherit a bunch of these large Tic Tac containers, but they didn't come with the case. So I just got these trays from Walmart, and they all sit perfectly in here. So I kitted up like this, and then I just got to put the like extra bags of drills in the side here, and then I'm keeping, you know, my putty back here. And I am doing some enhancements to this kit, which I have another little tray here. And the way I pulled these, I'm certainly a novice at enhancements. I just went through my round, this is a round drill kit. I just went through my round special drills and pulled everything that matched a DMC code. And then I just made a list of the symbols so that I could have this standing up here so I could match as I went. What I have learned is that the red drills, the AB coating is really thick here, so they pull purple. And you can kind of see, obviously the back where there's no AB coating, they match what would be their DMC color, but on top, the AB coating is pretty thick. So even as I went through and picked out the ones that had, you know, less AB coating, and I put them down sort of, it's over here, but I could show you, you know, in the swirl, and it just pulled too purple, so I ended up pulling them off. So the reds didn't work out for these, but I'm not going to put them away just yet. What did work out are all of the oranges. So I have orange 740 in AB and shimmer drills, and then also 947, which is a nice orange as well. I also have a 947 Crystal Dazzler from Distracted by Diamonds or Patty Wax, and there is a 947 in the smile of the jack-o'-lantern, and I think that's where I'm going to use the Crystal Dazzler because I think that would give it like a see-through look. I'll sort of try it and see. What's been working for me is just putting it on there and then tearing it off if it doesn't work. So that has been my trial and error process so far. But the oranges, I've just been throwing on there. All of the swirls, we're just glitzing it up. I mean, it's called Happy Jack's Glitter Moon, and we are glitzing it up. I'm working on this little area here. I did record this WIP and chat earlier, and I wasn't pleased with how it turned out, so that is why this square is halfway finished. What we're gonna do is start with the rest of the swirl. I think we'll finish the swirl because that's the interesting part first, and then we'll fill in the rest. So I'm gonna zoom you in. Don't get nauseous. There is a lot of confetti here in the base with the swirls. So again, an inheritance from my friend's mom are these lovely art dot trays, which actually line up pretty nice. So I just sort of have a lot of drills sitting out. My cats Tulip is not athletic enough to get up on this table, and Winnie, he probably is capable, but he is blind. I don't know that he knows that this is a horizontal surface up here, so he doesn't get up here. The biggest danger to my drills is me. So my drills are safe to be just sitting up here by themselves. And these little art dot trays are very stable. So let's talk really quickly about my other projects, my diamond painting finishes. So Jewel of the Sea is briefly on hold. I wanted to get some, what is that? I think it's just putty. Jewel of the Sea is briefly on hold. I just wanted to get some Halloween type finishes in. I think sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. I think September sort of got away from me. I don't think I realized how long, or how long things would take me, or how slow of a diamond painter I am. Anyway, Jewel of the Sea is briefly on hold, so I'll put a little picture of her up here, but she is briefly on hold, was briefly on hold, I guess still is for now. I think maybe when I finish this row, I'll grab her out and finish another row of Jewel of the Sea or something. Maybe go back and forth. I finished Witch's Wishes and Devilish Desires from Distracted by Diamonds or Patty Wax. Devilish Desires is one that I have been waiting for a while. I saw it on a D-Stash page earlier this year and I loved it so much. He's so cute. And I just sort of waited for it because I saw it a couple of times, but he was sort of going for retail price and I thought, why not just wait until he comes out from Distracted by Diamonds. So I finished those two and then I started Happy Jack. So let's talk about chronic illnesses. I want to keep this as concise as possible. This was, like I said, I scratched my first attempt at this. I will give you like a brief overview. So my experience with this started in probably the end of 2020. I started getting ill, and then sort of the beginning of 2021, middle of 2021, I finally started seeing a doctor. Specifically for what was happening, and I had what's called a positive ANA test, which meant there was something autoimmune going on. I was diagnosed, I think in 2021. Yes, 2021 I was diagnosed with something called Sjogren's syndrome, which is an autoimmune disorder. And then I don't remember if it was the following year. It sort of all blurs together. I had a blood test that my rheumatologist gave me, a blood test that reflected, at least a gluten intolerance, probably celiac disease. So I feel confident I had celiacs. I have very serious reaction if I have gluten. Most people feel that you have to have a colonoscopy as well to get a real celiac diagnosis. My doctors felt like it wasn't worth it. You get the result from not eating gluten that you need, so why bother with the colonoscopy at that point? So anyway, So I had a Sjogren's diagnosis and sort of at least a gluten intolerance or a celiac diagnosis by 2021, 2022. And then this year, I was still in a lot of pain. And I talked to my rheumatologist, and she felt that I probably had fibromyalgia. And that was the worst news to me. When I first started getting sick, I had seen fibro as a possibility, and that was really upsetting to me because a lot of people in the medical field feel that fibro's maybe not a real disease. It's like more of a mental illness. And that is sort of an older thought process. That is not as common anymore. So maybe my fear was a little misplaced, but when she said that, like, maybe you either have fibromyalgia or you have something called inflammatory arthritis. And I said, well, I'm not swelling up at all. She said, well, the next time you feel really bad, come in and we'll do a blood test and see if you have any inflammation, and I'll do, like a physical exam. And so I did, and of course, my blood test was like no inflammation. Like I was like the zero inflammation, like perfect. I was like, how is this possible? She's like, she said, you have fibromyalgia. I was like, yeah, I don't want this. Please take it back. So I had the diagnosis, and which I did not want. I said, please take it back. She did not take it back. And then she gave me, I've taking some pain medication, taking gabapentin. My insurance won't cover Lyrica, which is the allegedly better medication for fibromyalgia. But you have to, quote, fail gabapentin first. This is like a real, I don't want to overuse the word traumatic, but a few years ago I had to have an iron infusion, and I, probably because of the celiac disease, like celiac, if untreated, which I hadn't been, I didn't know I had celiac for a long time, so I probably have like scarring in my intestines, so I wasn't absorbing iron. So I needed this iron infusion, and my insurance wouldn't cover the iron infusion that my doctor wanted to give me, so I had to try this other one, and I had a terrible reaction to it, and I like passed out in the infusion center, which was like a cancer, like an oncology treatment facility. So all these cancer patients who assume that I'm also a cancer patient are watching me like pass out in the floor, and they like thought that I was like dying of cancer. And then even after that, my insurance still wouldn't pay for the one my doctor wanted. They were like, well, you still have to try these other ones, which I also had a bad reaction to. So when she's like, yeah, you have to like fail this other medication first, I'm like, ha ha ha. No, not okay, whatever. So gabapentin has been okay. But anyway, the point is gabapentin has been okay. But in October, I had a terrible flare-up. It was awful. And if you are, I guess everyone's experience is different. I think a lot of people who have, illnesses where there's a flare-up when it starts, you're sort of like, let's just see if this goes away. Which is what I was sort of hoping at the beginning. For several days, I'm like, maybe I just overdid it this one day. You know, maybe I overdid it on the weekend, I'll be fine in a few days. And then one day I woke up and I could barely walk. It was just so painful. Like all of my muscles and joints were like in so much pain that I couldn't barely move, like around my own house. And again, like I'm extremely lucky that I have a job where I can work from home. So I laying in bed, sending an email, like, I need to work from home today. Like, I'm gonna, like, hobble to my guest bedroom where my computer's set up and, like, not move from my rolly chair all day. So I got my rheumatologist. I got in touch with her again. And again, I have a good rheumatologist. I have good doctors. They respond within 24 hours. I told her, like, I'm having, like, a crazy flare-up. Like, I can't move. Like, what is happening? Like, I haven't showered in days. Like, I can barely move. Like, what is going on? Like, help me. Help me. So she sent in a muscle relaxer. And she said, it's a low-dose muscle relaxer. I was like, great. I took it. Was asleep within 30 minutes. I was like, ma'am, what are you talking about? Low dose? Low dose? Get out of here. Low dose. Ridiculous. Okay. It is a low... I checked. It is a low dose. Whatever. I'm just a baby, I guess. Anyway... So with the muscle relaxer, I was able to move, which was great, because then I could, like, take a shower. But the pain and the fatigue was just continuing. And I took some time off of work to sort of, like, sort through the situation sort of mentally. And just kind of, like, I just kind of had to sit with the idea of, like, I've made so many concessions already in my life for all of these illnesses that I have, you know, and I need to make more. I have to make more. I have to adjust my life to the reality of my situation. And the reality of my situation is that, like, at some points this fibromyalgia is going to be so severe that, like, I need to plan for severity like this, because I wasn't ready for that. I mean, I think I went, like, 4 days without showering at one point in October. Like, I was in that much, like, I just I couldn't move. Like, I didn't have the energy. It's so painful to, like, move. And I'm just so exhausted, so tired. And so there was one day I got up. I think that time I had been showering but not washing my hair, because that's, like, more work. You have to lift your arms above your head, you know? And so I got up and I went to the bathroom, and I was like, did I, like, get paler? Like, what is wrong with my skin? Am I, like, paler overnight? No. My hair was so greasy that my skin looked paler. Like, my hair was a shade darker. We're gonna put this AB where this one's supposed to go. I was like, all right, like, I don't care what you gotta do. You gotta, like, chug an energy drink or something and, like, wash this hair. Like, you gotta do something, girl. Like, I don't know what we gotta do. We gotta do something. It was rough. So I called them again last week. Because there was a mistake something I missed at work the Friday before I took some time off to like sit and think and like evaluate what's going on. Like fix my try and like look at my systems or whatever. And I know I missed it because I was like in this like fibromyalgia fog. And like, I keep saying like, I'm sorry. I don't know, it's not distinguishable from any other like bad day, but I knew that's why I missed it, and it made me so upset. And I was also I was exhausted. I'm exhausted all the time. I was exhausted in that moment, and I was exhausted trying to figure out how to fix the mistake I made because I was exhausted. So I called them again, called my rheumatologist again, and said, okay, like, I don't know what else to do, but I need you to help me because I can't deal with this fatigue and the pain that is still occurring. And again, I have good doctors. They call me back. Her nurse called me back within 24 hours and said, I could have thrown my phone. I was so mad. But again, I'm really whining from a place of privilege. She said, okay, you need to, the doctor says you need to go to your primary doctor and have your antidepressant swapped for Cymbalta. Cymbalta is an antidepressant, but it's also approved for fibromyalgia. I've been taking, there's no reason you guys can't know this, I don't think. I've been taking Lexapro for like 6 years, I think. 5 years, 6 years. I could have thrown my phone, but I kind of thought that might be, I had the thought earlier, like, it might be, like, I kind of want someone to, like, look at the whole situation. Like, my entire, because you're going to, like, okay, go to this doctor, go to that doctor, go to this doctor, go to that doctor. Like, okay, someone look at this whole screwed up mess and tell me what to fix. So I kind of thought, like, okay, maybe there's something else that needs to happen. So as frustrated as I was of like, go over here and do something else, I immediately called my regular doctor. I said, help me. She wants you to change this. And that was last Thursday. Today is Tuesday, November 4th. So I called and I made an appointment. And I saw my regular doctor yesterday, and she switched, where we made plans to swap my Lexapro to Cymbalta, and I'm picking it up today. I'm working from home today anyway, because I knew just the, like, stress of going to the doctor was gonna be. And again, I'm super lucky that I get to work from home. I'm lucky that I'm able to like pick some days each week to work from home. I have a like flexible schedule. So I'm extremely lucky. I'm extremely privileged in all these ways. I am extremely terrified to change antidepressants. I've done it before. It's really scary. I have, we made a plan. Like, I'm obviously not just like, all right, here we go, we're just gonna swap. We have, like changing off of this one, switching over to this, etc. So I'm hopeful. I'm a little bit excited. I'm terrified. Lots of feelings. And I do hope it helps. And again, everything has gone like as well as it could have gone in the American healthcare system, just about. Like, unless I had like access to a private doctor or something, like I would have to be like much wealthier to have gotten a better experience, I think. Or not have freaking United Healthcare. But it's still been like such an emotionally difficult, like, I kept thinking like, you have this feeling of like, God, like I need help, like somebody help me. But then like, I didn't need anything specific besides like, I just need this pain to stop. Like I need to be able to be awake. Like I need to be able to like function. I want to be normal. I want to be myself again. But like, you know what I mean? Like, and my poor friends are like, what can we do? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I scared my parents, I think, because I was like, you come. My parents live 400 miles away. I said, can you come help me? They were like, what? Yeah? I'm like, thank you. They're like, what do you need? I'm like, I don't know. I ended up not making them come visit me, but, it's just that, that, like, God. Like, I don't know, just like that frantic, like, I need something. Like, I need someone get over here. I don't know what I need, but I need something. So, yeah, I don't know. One of the things that I'm already running up on my own time limit that I made for myself, but I did want to mention one of the things that I did for myself that I found helpful is time blocking. So I've started, of course, like I said, I need to adjust my lifestyle to what my reality is. So I, of course, prefer to just start doing something and then get carried away with it. But I can't do that because I don't pay attention to my body because it hurts. So then I just keep doing something until my body like forcibly stops me. I haven't done that in several months, but now what I do is set a time limit for myself. And whether I've gotten distracted or carried away or done something else with my time, like, okay, like that task is done. You need to like stretch and like rest and do something else. Like cleaning is, I guess, a good example just because I would get distracted. Like, okay, like I've cleaned this, so I should clean that. And if I set a time limit for myself of like, okay, you have 45 minutes to do this, and wherever you're at when you're done is the end of that. Like, you're just done. The rest of it stays dirty until the next, and that's been really helpful. So if you have other tips or suggestions, I'm happy to hear them. I've been learning a lot from other places, a lot of YouTube creators talking about different accommodations that they make for themselves and things like that. So I'm learning a lot. Trying to like reevaluate my own expectations for myself, which is very difficult. So again, it's crazy that this has been like the best case scenario. So if you are in a similar situation, again, my goal is just, I missed an S. My goal is just to make sure people know they're not alone. I wanted to I wanted to reach out this whole time, but I didn't have the energy. I made a couple of like little videos this month in October, but I just didn't have the energy to do much. And so I would have plans to do like a full WIP and chat and like talk about all of this, and it just never happened. It just kept getting pushed back because I couldn't handle it. So I wanted to make sure that I talked about this because it's really important to me. As things continue to happen, and maybe as I continue to discover things that work for me, I'll continue to share them. But whoa, how cute is this washi tape, by the way? I purchased it just for this canvas because I didn't have any pumpkin washi tape. It's ghosts. This is the same piece that I've just been moving it down because I'm like trying to conserve it because I love it so much. Okay, sorry, distracted. Maybe I should be being treated for ADHD instead of all this other stuff. Anyway, I hope that my sharing this reaches other people so that they know that they're not alone. That's really my only goal here. I just, like I said, was just so desperate to reach out to other people during this time because I felt like being as lonely as I was, and like knowing, like we logically know how many people suffer from these invisible chronic illnesses all the time. And so like I logically know, of course, like I'm not the only person suffering like this, but I physically can't like reach out to these other people who are suffering. And so I also know that a lot of the people that I subscribe to on YouTube and some of the people that are subscribing to me also deal with these things. So this is just an important conversation that I wanted to have. So I hope that the intention that I set out is actually what happened here today. So I have a little bit of editing to do, some pictures to add here, and then I'll get this uploaded hopefully today. Today's Tuesday. So I hope you all have a great day. I hope you guys get to create something today, get to craft something today. If you are struggling with anything, please let me know. My Gmail that is just for this YouTube account should be available on my YouTube channel, and I'll try and link my Instagram below as well, so you can reach out there if you need to as well. So thank you again for joining me, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.